Welcome back, guys, to JJ's Football Corner. Hope you are well. So, this is my very quick reaction to the breaking news coming out of Talk Sports that UEFA and its 55 members had decided to boycott the men and women's World Cup game in protest to Infantino proposal to essentially privatize part of FIFA. So, his proposal is that we would make an enterprise that would run the monetary side, the business side of people, and he'd be inviting investors in to essentially invest up towards 20 billion. And his whole plan for the investment would be that okay, this could be going into grassroots football, this can go into exploring revenue streams for football, as well as just the overall global growth of football. That's his proposal. That's what we hope to do. UEFA and as well as some other confederations have decided, nah, we're not supporting it at all. We don't want football to be privatized. They don't want profit to take priority over the football. And yeah, that's essentially. So they decided to boycott it. They don't want, part of it. And in both the men and women side of the football. So this is my take on it. Obviously I'm gonna put it from a fan because I cannot speak on the financial part of it, and I am not in financing. I can speak from a fan point of view. From a fan perspective, I am in complete agreement with UEFA. I personally do not want football to be privatized. I don't want football to become ad streams. I had a huge problem in the World Cup with, well, they termed it as hydration bill, but really what it did were commercial bills, right? That's what it do. I do not want that. I do not want a halftime show, right? And that's what's going to happen because again, when you get invested in, their main target is going to be how can I maximize profit? And listen, there's nothing wrong with that. They understand that you're well within your right to want to get as much money as possible, especially if it's upward to 20 billion, depending on how many companies come in, how many investors come in, and how much they invest. So your stratagem, your whole tool is to get as much money as you can. That's gonna be from ads. That's gonna be from a half pen show. And me personally, I don't want to see a Champions League final. Right? Imagine PSG versus Arsenal last year, middle of that Mill Hill, you see Coldplay. And I'm a huge Coldplay fan. I love Coldplay. They're my favorite band in the world. But I don't want to see Coldplay at a halftime, so PSG versus Arsenal. I don't want to see Shakira. I don't want to see Jay. I just don't want to see you people at a halftime show for football. That's not our culture. We are here for the day. And unfortunately, I just think that if you're gonna have these private investors coming and more than likely they're gonna be American, let's be honest, right? It's gonna lead to the Americanization of football, right? And listen, there are some aspects that America gets right in terms of how they advertise their sports and whatever. But not during the game, right? Not during the game. We don't want that. So are there things that we can learn from the American model? Sure, but not in terms of the game. We don't want that sort of we don't want that spectacle kind of thing, that American sports don't want. We like the purity of the game, right? And so one of the fears again is that again it all comes out to proper. So what will happen is that these private investors might say, and again, this is just the stipulating of the fund. These private investors might go ahead. Do you think that the World Cup happening every 2 or 3 years was more profitable than 4 years? That's gonna lead to breakdown in player thickness. That's gonna lead to which is gonna lose that spark if you get the World Cup ability, right? In 4 years is the right balance. But again, they're gonna be looking at how can we maximize profit. That's it. That's what they're gonna be looking at. So you're gonna have uh jerseys with 10 different sponsors. You're gonna have worse than I even have rules here. Do you understand me? I mean, we started the World Cup how I like of the Americans who are new to the sport We're like, hey, the outside rule and whatever. Who knows what private investors will do and say and suggest, right? In order to maximize profit. That's the main concept, right? Now it's all good and dandy that you want to, you know, get more investment in terms of gas stage payback. That's good. But at what cost, right? At what cost? Do you want a World Cup every few years? I don't want a World Cup every few years. That's why we have Euro. That's why we have AFCON. That's why we have Copa America. That's why we have these competitions, right? These continental competitions. Yeah. That that's why we have these competitions. During that time, the World Cup so quick, 4 years. We also don't want a 64 team World Cup, which is what they seem to be going to. Right? No, listen, the 40 team World Cup went time. Right? They were a great moment. But I don't think without the party would without Cape Verde and all that. So that's fine. You push the balls into party. But imagine 64. Imagine certain teams imagine San Marino making the World Cup. All this stuff to San Marino. But imagine San Marino making the World Cup with probably 64. San Marino would just come and get 8 million in possibly every match. You don't want that. Right? We don't want that. But again, if you having private investors coming in, possibly dictating what happened, how they're gonna maximize their profit, it's gonna change the game. It's gonna change the game. Now. So that's my idea. So that's my take on this. I don't want the game to go. I don't want the game to go. Like I said, I just think that private investors coming in will just change the game. I don't want halftime sold. I don't want ads every 25 minutes. I don't want shirts with 10 different things on it. Right? I don't want that jet flying over. I don't want any of that, right? Let the game speak for itself. Right? So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let me know what you're feeling coming out of this. How do you think that this will be resolved? Because this is a big deal. This is a big deal. So let me know what you guys please get your comment to get your comment in guys and thanks for subscribing. I'm up to 34 subscribers that may be to pick by the end of August. Thank you. Let me know what your comments are and I need to be powerful.